tube in his jaw. And we were like, oh no, it'll crush him. So then we kept trying to transfer him into the tube, and he totally got crushed.
It fell apart into lots of little pieces.
Well, no, we pretty much just like smushed his head so that he curled up into one piece.
Oh, poor dude. Yeah, insects are small. Sometimes they're like the hardest thing to destroy ever, and then other times they're just like, whoa, I'm dead. You barely looked at me, now I'm dead. Anyone have a little thumb drive on?
I have. You?
Cool, thanks.
I'm getting carpal tunnel.
Is the Wi-Fi working for other people?
Yes.
Yes.
Won't let me log in.
My GP others are dead.
What's that?
I'm not gonna
What is that? A larva or some sort?
Little grub. So yeah, some sort of larva. I don't know what it turns into though.
You don't?
Yeah.
How do you like feed something like that?
I don't know. I was thinking about feeding it to something else.
Really?
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be fun to see what it grows up to? It's a huge larva.
Sure, but I'm not sure how to take care of it. But it would be cool.
What do you think it could be? Do you have any idea
I
now?
guess it's some sort of beetle. Okay. What I want you guys to do right now is we're still waiting on one more person. No, Mary's not coming. She's gonna try to Skype in if I can get
Where's
video.
Mary?
She phoned in sick. If you can, get your Pokemon hunt pictures together to show each other, okay?
Yeah.
So get them ready to.
Very sad. My Pokemon hunt was not very successful.
I
You know,
couldn't
I was
find any
I was
birds.
outside and just looking around and was like, there's nothing out here, guys.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well,
did not find very many animals this week, and I did.
Although I did catch the tail end of a chipmunk, but it got away. So
good. This lets you know the difficulty.
Yeah, it had rabies.
well, they ran away. Oh, also, do pictures of dead things count?
No. Let's say no.
Okay, because I was walking on the roof of the Coke and there was a dead bird.
I got a picture of dogs. That's it.
I got lots
You
of
guys are terrible Pokemon.
I have a few. I have a picture of Katie when she wasn't looking.
I love the picture of you too.
That's Alex.
man.
So I have two pictures, and
Alright, we'll get them all ready to show each other. Why don't my stupid computer connect to the internet? Hello.
Oh, there it is. There's the bird. It's not dead. Dead bird.
oh man, yeah, it's alright. I need to, in order to turn down the battery. Really? It's super weird.
I'm glad that you found some.
You got
Yeah,
your
I
computer
found-
running again?
What?
You got your computer running again?
Yeah, I have to like take the battery out
Are
and
you
then plug it into the wall in order to turn it on.
Huh.
But it can run on the battery once it's turned on. Yeah.
I
I know. And I put my sister's battery in it too, it doesn't work. So I'm thinking like the port or whatever it is that holds the battery.
Oh.
It's messed up. Yeah. Oh, there's a larva of some sort over here.
Yeah, and a bunch of ants.
I would catch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Cool. So everybody gather around. Let's see
Also,
who the supreme Pokemon is.
should I bring up Mary?
Yeah, can you Skype her in? That'd be great. 'Cause my computer's not connecting to the internet. Okay, who wants to show their Poke Hunt first? Alright, Alex.
Okay. This is Maddie.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Maddie,
1,
Katie,
2,
a spider,
3.
and I have one more. I have only one more. I have one more. This man, this most
Okay,
enormous
looks like a
thing.
Katie did. 4. So our leading champion in this amazing world of supreme biodiversity surrounding us. We have there's 4 different types of animals that Alex encounters in the
I
world.
have like 1,000 different type of dogs on here.
I
guess I
But-
could have taken a picture of a squirrel or a bird. Just saying things like, squirrel, take a picture.
Of course, that was the whole point of the assignment.
I could not find a picture of a squirrel.
You mean you couldn't find a picture of
I mean,
a
I
squirrel?
couldn't find a squirrel to take a picture of.
Okay.
I felt like the guy from Pokemon Snap because I walked outside, saw a bird, and I was like, oh, there's an.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
you little cheat.
Oh, there it went.
So it's a little difficult to deal
Like
with
they know.
the real world.
I'll go next.
All right, Larry, go. Is Mary there?
Mary's not on yet. Let's see. Okay, pictures.
Yeah, pull them up.
Okay, sorry, so.
Show them off to us.
Okay, so there's a bird in here somewhere, I don't know where it is, so that doesn't count.
Can you tilt it down just a bit?
Okay.
There you
There we go. So I had to actually find the bird here.
go. Nice.
It's upside down.
All right, so we got 1 bird,
One spider.
spider.
That one's just been hanging out there a while. Another spider, but that's the closest I could get the camera without it, like, running out of focus.
Okay. Chances are you think they're different species?
Yes.
Okay, we'll give you. There's another one.
There's a bee.
Nice. That looks like the same species.
Yeah, no, this is just a picture of the same bee. I
Cool.
couldn't get it in focus. And then that's either an ant or another spider.
Let's take a look at it.
You could have read ant, but I'm not
So, no, that's a spider.
Spider.
So there's a lot of things in the jungle. You'll see a lot of things try to become ant mimics because does anybody have any idea why, if you could look like any insect you want, why would you want to look like an ant instead of some other type of insect?
pretty expensive animals as far as bones are concerned. You carry like a lot of weight.
Back up.
They're not much stronger than like another bug.
Would it be like that there's like I said, there's more of them around and walking colonies?
That has something to do with it.
My guess would be that ants form relationships, like, it's either like you associate with an ant or you don't, and then like you know about ants or you don't, so like, just leave them alone.
Good theories. So it has to do with the social factor. If you, all right, let's say you're going to mug somebody, and you're looking at people walking down the road, and you're going to steal somebody's car. Okay, so you're seeing people driving by. One of these people, you're going to steal their car. There's some people going by in little hatchbacks on their commute to and from work. Maybe inside they have like some, just a couple McDonald's wrappers laying in the seat or something next to them. But then you see a person drive by in like a Winnebago, and they're traveling across the country, and they have everything that they own with them. It's their entire house. So which one would you rather steal to get the most like value? Yeah, and so I didn't phrase that too trickily. So if you think about it, because the ants are social, a lot of stuff that normal singular insects have to do can be offloaded to the rest of the community. They don't have to worry about fat deposits to like store up a bunch of fat because they can store food within their colony. They don't have to worry about having really high-end organs to like process things and different stuff in the environment. They can let systems, because they're much more industrialized, break down this food for them. And so in short, ants are very much these really low nutrient content, like expendable entities that go out into the world. Whereas a similar size but singular thing has a lot more nutrition with it. So a spider that looks like an ant, birds won't eat it because they're like, oh, ants, they don't even fill me up at all. It's kind of interesting. All right, cool. So I think Larry just took the reins with 5 different animals. Katie, what kind of Pokemaster are you?
So we have Maddie,
Okay, 1,
we have Eric,
2,
we have my cricket,
nice, 3,
we have a little ant,
little ant, nice, 4,
we have Ladybug,
ladybug, 5,
we have these spiders or gross things next to the ladybug on a leaf. They're really gross.
oh, weird.
Eating whatever that is.
They're pretty
They
gross.
have like 6 legs.
Nice. This is,
Maybe they're aphids?
I don't know what they are. They're really gross.
yeah, 6. Nice.
Ladybugs eat those.
Here is a gnat that was on my arm.
7,
Yeah, that is gross. Fish.
8,
Oh, wow. Dang. Squirrel way back here.
9.
Kind of blurry. This one doesn't count, but it's so cute.
Okay.
Also, it doesn't count.
Okay.
But it's so cute. Spider on my windshield.
10.
Centipede in somebody's house.
Cool. 11.
Slug in the rain.
Okay.
And then my
12.
last one is the worm.
13. Nice. Nice. People. Okay, so she probably came from some sort of strange land that's full of all these animals, much different than anyone else's land, right? Or did she do something different to find all these?
She intentionally searched for them.
Ah, you did.
I
Where
looked
did?
for them where I was walking.
Was there a difference
Rummaged.
between where you searched? Yeah.
I don't know.
I just always had my camera, or like my phone on me, so I was more intentional. Like when I saw a slug, I was like, all right, even though it's raining, I'm going to take a picture of this slug right
Nice.
now.
You also seem to have been searching different levels of life. So like, squirrels and stuff you see in like kind of everyday life, but like those creepy, weird bug things on the leaf, you had to like go up to leaves and like flip them over. So it takes some rummaging. Okay, Eric.
Pretty boring. Got a dog in a sweater.
Dog in a sweater.
That's real shit.
Yep. Got some nasty centipedes.
Nice, centipedes, nice. We saw a lot of centipedes yesterday.
I also have Maddie, which is another dog.
3.
That doesn't really count.
Oh yeah, 2.
You looking like an animal.
Nice. They're kind of raptor arms going on. Okay, 3,
And I have my crickets.
4.
They're just chilling. And some fish.
Nice, 5. Cool. All right, Danielle.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Mary, can you see us?
The webcam's not for some reason.
All right, but she can see us, right? Cool. Can she respond?
I heard her.
Cool. Hey, Mary. We're going over everyone's Poke Powers. So far, the winner's 13, I think. Katie's taking it.
Did you hear Maddie is here today?
Oh, hey, Maddie.
Last time this happened, it didn't
All right, cool. Danielle, show us your critters. Rapid fire.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, there are like at least 4 species of rabbits.
Okay.
So that's exciting. I I got a bunch of pictures of rabbits.
Woo.
They're
One.
like 500. I don't know which ones are species, but
Two.
one of them is from
Invisible
Europe.
rabbit.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
Right?
Right, there's nothing in there. But, like, really, there are a lot of rabbits. That one's from Europe. That
Where
one's
was
from
this?
America. I went to the fair in Perry, Georgia.
Ah.
And then,
All right, we'll give you 5 for rabbits.
cool,
We
there are
don't-
like a lot of rabbits. There's eventually a cow.
There's a person. I saw a person.
Oh, yeah, there's
6,
magic in the fair.
7 cows.
Let it go.
There was a goat, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if I took a picture of the
Quick,
goat.
quick, quick! Rapid fire.
And then all I have left, we went to the mutton races, sheep, and then
Oh.
there's like a weird bug thing right there.
8, 9. Okay, you're up to 9. Nice. Okay.
Alright, well, I had my pictures, so I left my phone in the car.
Okay.
So I got a picture of Alex, Maddie, and then almost.
So you're
forgot-
just describing these pictures.
Yeah.
These theoretical pictures.
I have a pic, yes.
Okay.
It's Alex, and she just kind of turned around. It's like, oh. And then Maddie's trying to run away.
Okay.
And then I have a picture of my crickets.
Okay.
There's only 2 of them now. The other 2 died. And then I got, what was the other one? I got a picture of a cockroach,
Okay.
and it's the same cockroach I did there.
Cool. So you have 5 theoretical points then. Just 4?
Yeah.
Okay, just 4. Okay, Mary. Oh, she can't show us the pictures though, right?
Mary, can you get them on like a video website thing? You can screen share? Okay, screen share.
Yeah, screen share. While she does that, I'm gonna get our buddy. Our buddy is pretty cool.
So did you just say my emails like didn't come in until like 30
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I got like a 30-minute break yesterday, so it's totally fine. But I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was weird. I just got like a set of like 3 of your emails from this morning. Alright, how's Mary doing? She able to screen share?
She's uploading the pictures.
Okay, cool. While she's doing that, I'm going to bring my little friend. So this is Vanya. She's a Russian tortoise. She's my pet. I've had her for about 8 years.
Ain't that turtle?
Hello. She's got a little tail. She's got little feet. She's got a little stupid girl. So, tortoises have to have sex to make more tortoises, right? Well, it happens tortoise style. Which kind of looks like doggy style. But how do you stack tortoises? So, male tortoises, their bellies go concave in so that they can hit on top of the female shell.
That's the silliest
So it's very silly. So the females have flatter bottoms because they don't need to stack. Yeah, be very, very careful with her. Watch out. Roll like a hamburger. So, I brought her today because we're going to do an exercise with her. And because I'm going to discuss some feedback with you guys from your assignments. So,
Is she gonna grow? Like to be an enormous tortoise?
this is about as big as a Russian tortoise is usually. She used to be only about this.
This is a dumb question, but do their shells get bigger?
Yeah, so you see these, you see each of these things is called scoops, which are one of their little, little sections of their shell. And you can see the older bits are darker colored, and these newer parts where the seams keep growing and growing. And so, as they grow, they kind of get these extra little rings around it. And that's how they get bigger and bigger. That's how their shell grows larger.
Can we fawn over here for a minute?
Sure, sure. And can you guys go on over her and then slowly move towards the front, because I'm going to give you a quick presentation.
It looks so great.
Go back.
It's so weird that my computer won't connect.
Okay. Plug this sucker in. Yeah.
Okay.
Your optimism makes me so happy.
I'm glad you think I'm optimistic. Sometimes I think I'm riding the struggle
Move
bus.
forward. Her name's Vanya, by the way.
That's a very Russian name.
Yeah. My wife is a Russian major.
Ah. The mystery is resolved. You're married.
Oh yeah, you didn't know I was married?
No.
Oh, thanks.
I'll just hold Mary like that.
Yeah.
You can't really hear her or anything. Actually,
wife
Mary,
was
I
a
think
Russian
the
major?
phone's still working, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
She studied Russian and German. And
you meet her
then
at
librarian.
She's a
I
librarian.
met her in
That is so
high school.
Did you?
Yeah. Anyway.
No.
Less
Have
about
to bring her
Mr.
in for
Andy's
show and tell.
private life. But,
Why we're all friends.
so,
Can I?
Today we're gonna
Put her
discuss-
down or no?
yeah, you can put her down. You can let her run around. Just everyone make sure not to step on her or anything. So today I wanted to discuss your guys' previous projects real quick. We're going to talk about interaction design and tools for interaction design. But first, some comments on Project 2. So like I said last time, super great job everyone, really impressive. Some of the things that we need to focus on, because what's coming up next?
Project 3.
Project 3, brilliant. So Project 3 is going to be coming up, and we're going to need to make less, we're going to move beyond the stupid pet tricks and on to smart pet tricks that incorporate parts of the environment and really integrate the animal into it. So some of the things that we're going to need to focus on is a lot more observation, iteration, and play with you guys with the living creature. So you want to really make sure that you guys did really good projects, and in the reflection parts, like Mary had a really good comment where upon doing her project, while she was doing the reflective stuff, she was like, oh, it seemed like I had everything functioning, but it seemed like my fish was just kind of ignoring what was happening there. So in this project, what you're going to have to do is your design's going to have to be very iterative. Hey Ryan, we got Tortoise in class.
Tortoise is running. Tortoises are not slow.
Using her for interaction design, storyboarding and wireframing. Cool.
She's on the move.
So what you're going to want to, what you're going to really want to make sure to do is have parts of your system functioning in almost completeness way before it's even due. So that you can be like, oh, I have this great idea, we're going to have this input, this output, you test it with your animal, and then you see like, oh, okay, well, it's not really responding that well to this light or to this sound or whatever, and so then you can go back and tweak it. You're going to want to do many, many iterations, and that's where your actual design will come from. It's not just going to be an idea, and then I put it into the world. You're going to need to iterate. And it's tricky because you're iterating not only with the digital side, coding, you're going to need to iterate with the mechanical side, the actual physical world of stuff you're making, and the biological side of this extra factor in there, and making sure it's really incorporated into your system and not just a kind of participant that's standing by. And part of this is, it's not only because that'll make your projects a lot more interesting, if you incorporate the creature a lot more, it'll make it less cruel to the creature. It'll make it less like this thing's just being annoyed by like weird stuff happening around, and more that it's an active participant into the system. It can make and control and change things in it, and somehow develop some sort of knowledge of what's happening. So in order to do that, I want you guys to really focus on a lot more playing and a lot more experimenting with your creatures. And when I say playing, I mean doing things like, almost like what she's doing right now. You're sitting there, you're letting a thing do something. You notice, why it keeps wanting to go over that way. Why is that? Maybe try to figure out those reasons. Maybe figure out things you can do to make it go a different direction. Just poke, prod, see what makes her scared, see what makes her attracted to things, see what makes her really excited. If it's very sunny, she starts running around a lot more. She's basically solar powered. And just try to discover these things very intimately about your animals. Cool. So iteration, play, a lot more observation. Try to really just be thinking about your animals a lot more. And finally, scoping. The main thing that you're going to have to do, you should have learned a lot of lessons from Project 2. That'll be very good for Project 3. It's about scoping your project. You may have this amazing idea for something you want to do at first, but you need to pretend like everything's going to fail. And that what you need to do is, okay, in 1 week, I need to have this system at least pumping out air and taking in bird calls or something like that. And if I can't have that by next week, then I need to change whatever the main backbone of my system is going to be. So you need to really scope your project to get the backbone parts in place, make sure that these interactions are good, and then iterate from there. And figure out ahead of time like what kind of sensors I'm going to need, what kind of programming skills I'm going to need. Am I going to need some sort of special library to use this component? You're going to need to do those months before your project is due at all. We had lots of, so Project 2 is good for everything blew up, and so now you learn about that. Project 3, things are going to break and blow up and stuff too. But what you need to make sure is that your project breaks and blows up a month before you actually present your project. Okay? Make sense? Cool. So, oh, another thing, field trips, super great. I captured 2 pictures from last night. There's Jungle Eric running around.
Are those ants on my tree?
No, those are mushrooms.
She has her picture now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys should come out into the real world for field trips. They're super fun. Cider Fest is on this Saturday. You'll get fresh cider and you'll learn about lots of different weird fruits and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So Mary, show us your pictures. Start from the beginning. Okay, 1. Cat.
Is that Maddie?
Or is it a dog?
So is Maddie watching your fish? Oh no, it's a cat. I can't tell. Sorry.
Okay. 2. Some sort of crazy, is that an eel?
I gotta see if I can turn it up without getting feedback. It's fascinating.
Okay. Cool. What's next? Go through them. Rapid fire. Rapid fire, Mary. Coral? More coral?
Coral or like?
Yeah. The bird.
Yeah, you want to get close?
Larry, repeat for us.
I can really, I'm gonna see if I can turn this a bit more. No wider.
Like a
baby. Any bad feedback? Oh, okay.
Yeah. 6. Rabbits. 7. Cool. 8. 9. Cool. 10. She's gunning for you, Katie. Okay. 1 species per picture, so 11. Well, I know you could. 12. 13, she tied.
What is that? Snails.
14. 15. Bug on the wall. 16. 17 humans. Different kind of coral, 18. Maddie, 19. 19 and a half for awesome. Cool. Good job, Mary. Awesome.
Say, what on earth? We got another cat picture? Crazy cat.
All right, cool. So right now what I'm going to do is on...
Where did you go?
So do you guys know what you have to do for Thursday?
Oh.
Thursday. Something's happening Thursday.
No.
That's this Thursday. It's crazy. Okay? Here's the first part. Ah, nice. Assignment project 3. Your project 3 is broken down into multiple assignments that all have their own due dates. Okay? So your very first thing comes up on Thursday. You're going to be turning in the first design sketches for your final project. You're going to do this Thursday. And today we're going to go over very quickly how to do kind of sketches for interaction design and what people usually do and what we're going to be doing. Yeah, you can park her somewhere if you want.
Yeah.
You want a chair? Mary, a chair.
I get the chair. Hey, this is your chair now. Yeah, there you go.
So,
Have fun.
So I'm going to tell you guys how to do this, and then for Thursday, what you have to do is we're going to be doing a 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. You're going to be turning in 4 sketches, 3 flowcharts, 2 presentable storyboards. This means not just like, oh, I drew a thing in a box. It's an actual little storyboard that tells a story. And then 1 performance with an object that you'll do in class on Thursday. Okay? And I'll reiterate this after I do this. But yeah.
Can you like give an example of a storyboard?
Yeah.
Is that like the sketch of maybe circuit you would build, or is that like this is okay?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So it's like a comic almost, kind of what's gonna go down.
Yeah, exactly. So in this kind of newer field of interaction design, what people usually do, there's a lot of effort that goes into, I'm going to bend you down a bit so you can see it better, Mary. Often what people look at is, it's usually about screen-based things. So when people say like, I'm a UX designer or I'm an interaction designer, usually they're making an app or they're designing kind of the front end for some sort of website or interactive system that you usually use with your fingers, maybe gestures. People are starting to do that more, but that gets more into our weirder territory. But traditionally, a lot more just like arrangements of buttons. And so that's where a lot of wireframes come about. Have you guys ever made wireframes before for websites? Perfect. So it's like basically a mock-up of what things are going to look like. if you have a nice interactive wireframe, you can actually click different buttons and see how the interface will change. And that lets you kind of get across your ideas for how these interfaces could and should work, and share your ideas with other people. This gets a little trickier when your system is with an animal and it takes place over weird amounts of time and within an environment. So we're probably not going to be doing much wireframing in this class, unless of course, you're not restricted from it at all. Perhaps your system involves a human interactor that deals with some sort of complex screen-based menu navigation for taking in different inputs and playing with your animals or something like that. So definitely don't limit yourself away from that. And the flowchart graphic thing didn't come up. Often people also do things like flowcharts, and these usually show more of the processes behind the front-end design, so these are a lot more like decision trees, where you'll have like, okay, starting from here, if we choose yes, then it'll go this way. If we choose no, it'll go this way. This gets a little more useful for our types of systems that we may want, such as like cricket goes left, then race car goes right, or something, and so on. And so drawing those kind of flow charts, which I'll get the internet on that guy, I'll show you some examples of, but they use specific symbols that mean very specific things, especially depending on the field you're at, such as like maybe a diamond means like an if statement. It's a way to kind of visualize your code. But you can have like that cricket, cricket goes to detector, and this thing then has like a, moves right, goes here, moves left, do this behavior, and so on. And this is kind of how you can visualize what your coding process is going to look like. Next up, some problems. So between a flowchart and your wireframe, especially for a screen-based interactive application, you can get a lot of the ideas of what the front end is going to look like, how a person's going to interact with it, as well as what the back end parts are going to look like. What are the decisions that are going to be made because of these interactions? But they can kind of neglect the context that things come up in. And this is something that's good for storyboarding, or even going further and actually making little design videos of your processes. So I'll show you an example later of a Tortoise is really amped up right now. Of some of these like vision videos people have, where they try to maybe do like a stop motion animation that shows how a thing works. So the good thing about a storyboard is it makes your mind think much more in less abstract terms and more on what happens in a real daily occurrence. So, maybe this guy's looking at his watch, certain things. If you just design your app, maybe you think like, okay, watch tells you the time, and so I'll make my double-fisted coffee app make your coffee mugs ring once you look at the time, and so then you'll know it's time to drink coffee. But because you have 2 coffee cups in your hand, every time you look at your watch, you always dump it on your lap. And maybe you wouldn't have realized this if you didn't add this level of reinforcement of, in the real world, watches are on your wrist. And this causes certain constraints in movements in the environment. It's a strange, silly example, but these are, do you guys kind of understand what I'm saying? Cool. So raise your hand if you've made like a film or a short film before? Okay. Raise your hand if you've done any kind of like storyboard before.
So do comics and animating count?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a little bit more Comics have, it's a little bit more plainer than a lot of comics where your box for your basic storyboards is just showing kind of a visual depiction of the real action that's going on. Sometimes you can add in movements, like if in this storyboard he's karate chopping a watermelon in half, you can add movement motions or things like that. But then a lot of these parts down below, you're going to write little descriptions of what's occurring at that step, and then descriptions of what actions are happening, and then descriptions of maybe the mental attitudes that you think may be exhibited by the person using whatever system that is. But we're going to try to make some storyboards together in just a second. And then finally, what you guys have already been old hats at is sort of performative prototyping. So you guys know Carl DeSalvo at all?
Yeah.
He's teaching the other version of this course, the less running around with animals course, but he's still a plenty weird guy. He ran this thing called Growbot Garden, and what they had is they would get people from the urban agricultural community into a workshop together. They don't know anything about robots or sensors or anything, but they have them put together these physical things just out of things like Post-it notes and pipe cleaners and wheels and just all kinds of doodads to make these objects that they then go and they discuss these objects with each other, and they can have the object do some sort of little performance and show like, oh, okay, so in this little bright orange colored spinny thing, that's where it measures the distance that bugs are from my tomatoes, and then this thing is the big fly swatter that smacks them when they come in a certain distance or something like that. So they would do that kind of prototyping with it. This I think was just a promotional still, but I also did another project at the previous analog retreat last spring, where I had people do bag bots. So part of your problem when you're designing for environments or the real world is that you guys are these awesome, amazing machines, and you take in all this input and you process it nearly automatically. And when you try to design a system, you might say things like, oh, then the Arduino is going to know where the ants are, and then it will pick up the ants and move them over here. And so that's very easy concepts for us to understand, like, oh, I see an ant, I pick it up and move it over here. But what we do is I put these big bags over people, and one person is this is Michael Mitch's daughter, actually. And we put her in a bag, and we turned her into an Arduino. And so you just start out as a completely dumb thing. Because you can't see, you can't really hear anything, you can't really touch anything. So then you have to make conscious decisions about what features you're going to add. If you're going to cut out an armhole so you have a moving appendage that can go certain ways, which ways can the arm move? Are you going to have, so she has an aspirator right there for picking up ants. She also has some antenna they added to send GPS coordinates of where they find ants. And so this is just a way of kind of embodying this digital creature that you're trying to make and help you understand like, oh, well, it's going to be really hard to move this ant over here unless I have a sophisticated system that lets me know where this stuff is. And so it's just another way of prototyping your interactions. So with that being said, what I want us to do is we are together in the next 40 minutes going to start with the real creature, my lovely pet Tortoise, Melania. And we're starting with the real creature because, like I mentioned earlier, for Project 3, you're going to want to really think about how to interact with the animal. You really want the animal as this basis thing. So one of the first things you should be thinking about is what kind of animals you want to work with. And that's kind of why I tried to do the Pokemon hunt thing, to get you guys exposed to what all things are available in your environment, what do I have that I can use, what things do I need to gain access to that I want to work with. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to split into two teams Yeah, we have 6 people today, so that'll work good. We'll count off 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the 2's over here, the 1's over there. Mary, you can be an invisible consultant, and what we're going to do is the tortoise is a pet, and I love her, and she's very nice, but it's not a very communicative animal. It's not like a puppy that's going to run up me and lick in my face every time I come home. In fact, it communicates very little. So what I want you guys to do is make some sort of interactive system that takes an input from the tortoise in some sort of fashion and gives an output. Doesn't even have to be back to the tortoise this time, but to me as the owner, that lets me know that the tortoise loves me. Okay? So that's your high-level design system. How can the tortoise express emotions of love? With that, also emotions of hate. How do I know if she's angry or likes me at a given moment? And these become mapping exercises. So you are the ones, there's no define love to me, Anna. What is love?
Really?
Okay. We're going to say, like any of these things, love is the meaning that you're going to do is however you're going to map it to your system. So as long as you come up with some sort of mapping system of whenever the tortoise spins in a circle, I know that she loves Andy because of X or whatever. So we're going to do a tortoise circling detector or something like that. So feel free to look at her, play with her, and start sketching and thinking about things to do with her. By the way, one other thing is she eats lettuce. That's pretty much all she eats. It's very strange. Yeah.
Did you expect her to eat something
Mostly-
else besides lettuce?
Well, I mean, so she has special bacteria and stuff that lives in her body that can break down lettuce and get more nutrients out of it than you or I can. But it still seems weird when you have a thing that's 8 years old and 90% of its diet has just been leaves of lettuce.
Anything else she eats?
She eats tomatoes, little pellets. She loves pellets.
She's a healthy one. Okay.
Put this down over here.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. So break up your teams. Eric's got a good idea. Start drawing some sketches and stuff.
Yeah, so for the most part right now we can see you. Earlier it was sitting on the chair and Andy was controlling it. Sorry about that.
Our sketchbook?
Sure, put them in your sketchbooks. Do whatever.
When I'm carrying it, I can't really see the screen either. But yes, you're with
Yeah,
us on our
yeah,
team
post
and stuff.
pictures. What we're gonna do
Yeah.
is right now
we're
just
kinda
focus
watching
on
it.
just drawing simple sketches, almost like a one-off storyboard diagram that shows okay, what sensors are you gonna take, what actions are you gonna do to let me know that the tortoise loves me or not. Then we're going to kind of work on turning these into little storyboards together up on the board. Okay? While you guys are doing that, post your assignments.
Do you guys want to make up ideas together?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
Sure. And I'm going to give you guys
Pointing you in the right
5
direction is
minutes
hard.
with the tortoise first, and then we'll give them
Is this
exclusive time with the tortoise.
hypothetical, if we're actually using Arduino stuff, or do you want us to be able to prove it in class right now?
Huh?
Do you want us to be able to prove this in class right now? Or is it if we were...
You need to be able to show prototype stuff. If your interaction point is maybe the only input you want is every time she has her head in or out. That's going to be your interaction. Okay, so if her head's in, then she hates everybody in the world or something.
Okay.
So you can do something make her open her move her head in or out according to some sort of stimulus. Or make cut a little piece of paper and show how you would attach it to her shell. So you don't need to use actual Arduinos. You definitely don't need to actually program Arduinos. but you need to show in some ways how the system would be feasible. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Are you guys visual people? I like visual stuff.
I like visual things.
Like how do you think? I just want to know how much drawings you versus conversation.
I like conversing and then converting it to drawings in my mind.
Okay, cool. Where do you guys want to start a conversation? Because oh my god, this is creepy. I want to start the conversation with the question: how does Tortoise express love, and how does Annie receive love, and then to make a connection between those two things.
Yeah, okay, I would say the tortoise expresses love by like giving the person attention. So like by not backing away, I guess.
Oh, right.
So its presence equals love.
So yeah, that's really good.
So
Especially
her body is like attached to this
maybe like
shell.
reach
Yes.
out his arms and things like that.
So it's all she can like come
She got
out of
scared.
it.
No.
Like it's
Yeah.
attached.
It's basically like a spine that's exposed.
Really?
So like
So it's like
Her spine
so
is sitting
maybe-
off. It's
the
actually much
autonomy,
more
I
like
think she
a
actually-
fingernail, but her spine is fused in the back of her fingers.
okay. I think yeah, she needs the freedom to
60
like
years.
kind of in
Yeah,
years.
me and her in a race to the death. Who's gonna die first?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas?
That's a
for
long
how
time.
Tortoise express love? Are you just not thinking about that?
I am
Yeah,
thinking,
like a-
I'm bad at these types of things.
So most horses are about
I,
60
from
years.
how I see it, it's
Yeah.
like, what? How do I? No, you can't. What?
I was gonna say horses live
I don't get it.
Dang. I would go little skin and stuff. It's just like around.
Super easy to take care of. Just give her a couple minutes every day or two.
Like how I see it, I'm like, you have to
So,
teach it
so think about
first.
two things.
So thinking of how to teach it what
Well, I
love
have a
is.
question. Do you think she recognizes?
Because if you just give it a button
Or
and
they
you
not
just
that right?
tap the
See, we're
button.
not thinking about that.
I think she can
We're asking
recognize
how does Tortoise
like
naturally
maybe a
express
large
love?
thing. I don't know if she can tell me.
Well,
if
they
it's
work
like
you.
It's not like I don't know.
But I think she
I'm
can
thinking
recognize
that-
a large thing that walks by her
I
cage
was
every now
gonna
and
say,
then.
I don't think they do.
Well, that's why we have to like make up like little stories and exaggerate things for
Yeah.
humans.
Trying to swim.
Get an
And
idea
like,
of
okay, so
what kind of things
Andy
she can
from
tell about the
receives love, like,
environment,
what do we perceive love
what
for?
kind of
And that's like,
senses.
okay, we
and-
equate love to like heart.
And then,
And
what are some
red.
like larger things
Attention.
that she does
Warm.
that
Yeah.
can
She makes her
demonstrate
look
things? 'Cause it's not like she's
like an
she
ingredient.
smiles.
Yeah.
She's clearly not scared right now. Look.
Or how else does it think about it?
There's somebody right in front of her. You can kind of tell she like looks down.
She likes
She's
her.
just.
Maybe verbal encouragement, maybe it needs like
But sometimes she gets scared if she sees my finger. So it's like a catch-22, like, oh, she'll be like, oh, I love it. And then, then it's like, oh, there's a finger rubbing my neck. Oh my god.
You can have like
Look crazy. Because I'm all finger on this, and it doesn't easy.
Yeah, you should send all that stuff in.
You want to express it individually or as a group?
Um,
Or kind of both?
It depends. So if your project 3 is going to be a group project or a solo project. So those are some things you got to decide relatively quickly. Because the things for Thursday are all going to be for project 3.
Okay.
The things that you're doing right now are you're working together to figure this. We're basically going to do an in-class version of what's due Thursday so that you got an idea of how to do this kind of stuff.
Well, I think like because we're giving it choice, make it.
I might go buy a tortoise.
But what makes
They're great. They're great. Go for it.
Are they just like available? Just like,
Yeah, that's, a lot of pet stores they have them.
I like it.
Easiest pet to take care of. It's great. You have 30 seconds left with the tortoise. Then can you give it back to or give it to the other group?
Yeah. Like I guess there would have to be something to drive.
others.
Okay.
We could put lettuce with the ones that say bad things, and to show that like he has a choice to not go towards those.
That's funny. I would agree with that if Tortoise expressed love through
Alex,
abstaining
yes.
from
Since you're not gonna be here on
lettuce.
Thursday,
Yes.
I want you to send
It's
in
one
like
love.
a 30-second video
Right.
of you doing
Like,
a performance
choosing
with some sort of
Andy
object.
over lettuce.
Okay?
Alright,
Well,
okay.
We'll show in class.
But I don't.
They're all gonna laugh at me and I won't
You
even
can
be
write
able
that
to
and
defend
think about it.
myself. It's gonna be awful.
Who wants to play with her?
I totally do.
Her name is Vanya, you said?
Vanya, yeah, like Uncle Vanya.
Hi, Vanya.
Am I supposed to
What's
performance
up?
with objects?
How are you?
Is that
Oh, you're scared of
what
me. I'm
you
sorry.
clarified today?
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, but it's basically like
Aw.
what I was discussing with the Grobot stuff.
Alright.
You can make something, a really lo-fi prototype just out of
I-
like cardboard
I
or
think
whatever.
it'd be cool if
And then show
If
how
she
the
photos
system's going to
synthetic, she
interpret
gets more
your
energy.
animal
Oh.
stuff
She didn't really photo synthetic,
and how it's
she's
going to
Well,
work.
no,
It's like a
like-
little basically
like
like run
he was
through the
saying, like,
storyboard,
personality,
but
like-
actualized in real life. in real
she gets
environments.
more energetic when she.
Okay.
And stuff.
Cool. So you guys, you have one more minute and you need to decide on what means love for Tortoise. Have you guys
We could
figured
Yeah.
it out yet? What is it?
Being close.
Being close. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Perfect. Good starting point. So, you're gonna need
Like.
then some way to measure Tortoise closeness to Andy closeness. Okay? So now, start making sketches and ideas.
I like
Each one of
that.
you should draw
So
your
maybe how
own
far
sketch.
ahead is it?
Of
I like
just
that
some
because
sort of
like
way that you're
really,
gonna measure
like,
Tortoise
I think
closeness.
we can probably
Are we
push
gonna
it and
have,
solve it, but that's a
I'm
really
gonna have a
good
little
starting
spool
point.
that's mounted on my
Like,
chest
how-
with a
that's
wire
how
that's
Tortoise-
going through
you
the
could
tortoise,
measure,
and
like,
I
based
reel it in, and we just
view,
count
it, like,
how many
starts out
leagues
all
of wires out. How are we gonna measure proximity to me? Okay, so all of you should make little sketches like that.
That's so fun. Okay, cool. Wait, I like this.
I need to search.
So, yeah, like, well, what does that kind of device look like?
You could
Just a sheet of paper.
use a flexi bendy thingy. Those are not what they're called, by the way. You could make like a turtle shell rig. And like,
Oh, what?
well,
Okay.
and like
Oh, I did
install
not see
this
it.
on the shell maybe.
What I did.
Like you can just have like a, maybe a, get like a photoresistor or like a check color thing or something, I don't know. That would be a good power.
We should stamp her feet to have,
She's over there.
to have like you know how you pull a file and you do like, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me. It'd be cool if you could see. Like you would do an odd number and then you get on, she has to love you, and if an even number, it should. What is that?
Oh, no.
Would you like to hear our ideas now?
Yes, I would. So first of all, what are you mapping, or what ideas do you have to map love to some sort of expression that she's capable
The amount that she extrudes her neck
of? Okay.
is a measurable way of seeing like how outgoing or loving she is at that point.
Like you
Okay.
put like a meter on her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so even just more abstract than that, just her head out means she's madly in love with me. Head in means she's like, oh, get the hell out of here, Andy. I don't want to speak to you right now.
What are you doing here?
Okay, cool. This is a good expressive mechanism for mapping this emotion or construct to. Great. So now you guys are going to discuss, and you've already made some good sketches of thinking of ways that you can actually measure this head movement. So what ideas do you have so far?
Well, we were gonna write different things on the different papers, so it's kind of like a thought bubble above her head, depending on how far she's looking out.
So what do you mean by different papers?
Well, like we'd have just like a strip of paper, like this, and like we'd write really small like this and say exactly in left.
So,
You
so
could
it's
have,
almost like
actually just have strips of paper. on
Like
the
a,
sides
like
that.
that. I think maybe an alternative for the paper could be like a Band-Aid material kind of thing that has like a, like,
Yeah.
that would
If you really wanted to go all out, you could just like attach an LED to the back of the shelf.
Of course, yeah.
Right,
So
like-
one of the
like-
cool things about tortoises is they basically have this whole area where you can mount all kinds of great electronics.
Like
Um,
kittens.
yeah.
You could just attach
Attach a
an
kitten on
LED
top.
to the back, and depending on how far out her neck is,
Ah.
the light go.
Well, and so that's getting into the
the
second part of the problem. If you can measure how much she loves me according to what you've mapped, how does she express this to
We
me
can go bigger.
as a human for me to understand? So yeah, one way could be if her head's out, this big heart-shaped LED starts glowing on her back, and I go, oh, Vanya loves me. But yeah, so those are two problems that you should all three, and even Mary at home,
He's just having technical trouble.
oh, okay. Draw a sketch. Draw some sketches and think of some ideas, different ways that you could measure her head being in or out. And remember, you don't have to, because if you put paper on her head and you have things written on it, the output is directly where the kind of input's being measured. But if you have some sort of digital intermediary, you don't need to have the paper be big or have like words fit on it, right? As long as you can just measure it digitally and then send this output in some other fashion. Okay? So do that for about, you have about 3 more minutes.
So
You got it.
we'll get back to the how to manage. Now we'll do the question.
So what are you thinking about for proximity? Did you actually get that to pair?
Yeah, I think so.
Where does it say where it is?
Saying, like, depending on like how far her neck out is, you have like a little LED just right here.
Okay, yeah, but that's like.
It's within North America.
But how do you measure?
Good job, Stick and Find Bluetooth app.
Do you have an idea? Okay.
Well, I was thinking you could even use like like not a photo resistor.
Maybe going with a full photo resistor. Maybe, okay, this is like super bulky, so maybe we can come up with a better idea. But there's some sort of like, she's always on like some sort of a clear background, like a white piece of paper. And then there's some sort of camera here, well, like camera here, and then the light, and then that can measure, you know, like change.
Well, alert me if it alerts you.
Okay.
All right, so what mechanisms are you guys thinking about for proximity?
Thinking the Bluetooth.
Okay.
Because obviously Bluetooth is a proximity sensor, so it won't pick up this Bluetooth signal if it's not close enough.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're picking up her Bluetooth signal,
Okay.
so she's close to,
Well, and these things are actually supposed to be able to tell you.
like how close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So she's like moving in on your radar. Obviously, she's moving in.
Cool.
For some love.
okay,
And
so
if
that's
it's not picking up the signal. It's obviously very upset.
okay. So that's one way to measure it. What are some other methods for possibly detecting her closeness to me? And so, where would these Bluetooth things be mounted?
One's on her back and one's your cell phone. I
Okay.
guess another one could be like a noise sensor. Like if you can't hear the noise, like she has a little thing that beeps on her.
Oh, so she has a little thing that's like going like burp, burp, burp.
Yeah.
It could even be ultrasonic, and
Yeah.
so it wouldn't actually be annoying either one of us. And so, yeah, that's an interesting idea. And then,
We're trying to like love.
okay, any other ideas for proximity?
And so, pretty much our idea was, we pretty much have this turtle thingy, and we need, what we were gonna do is we're gonna like have an LED.
for a proximity
Well, we haven't decided yet. We haven't talked about it.
Well, we're just deciding how we're gonna actually measure
Yeah.
this love.
But look how it's working.
Stuff. So we're measuring the amount of love through the neck extrusion. Like if your neck's super out, then it means blah blah.
It's kind of fickle.
But
It's less than ideal.
Yeah, I feel like Bluetooth is usually like that.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, with our Scribbler robots, I have freshman year. Oh my god, it was
Well, like,
Okay,
think about
yeah,
it
just
in
let
your
the
car,
toys.
it works
Where'd
really
she
well.
go?
Camera thing.
Huh?
Are there any
Think about though in
other,
your car, it works
like,
pretty on. It'll
maybe
only
it's a
detect
lot,
when you're like
maybe
sitting in the car.
if we put like
Mhm.
a temperature sensor
But-
right
With your
here,
cell phone.
it's a lot
Yeah,
more
in your
like
car, your cell phone's
distracted,
pretty much
or
in the
like
same
on
spot,
holder, so there's
usually,
that.
within the car.
Yeah, if you could,
Whereas
like,
other things like your Tortoise stuff might be running around a lot.
try to like how far a turtle.
But it's still legitimate. Think of maybe one other way that you can detect her proximity to me, and then make some sketches about ways that you think ways that I will get let know of this. I mean, is it just I'm always looking at my phone, or is you know, I have tattoos on the backs of my eyelids that every time I close my eyes, they have these special particles in them that change color and light up. So whenever I close my eyes and my Tortoise loves me, it's like shining bright little photons into my eyes.
Well, no, actually, you can get it mobile.
So maybe somewhere between those two for outputs to Andy. Okay?
I guess a lot of this would just go into testing once we have all of these ideas. Do you want to evaluate our ideas?
Yes, I would like to hear all about it.
See, can you see things? Can't see things.
So,
There we go.
the most quote obvious or bulky idea is to have this camera on the top that like, and always like a white piece of paper underneath to like detect literally like the length of the neck.
Okay.
Then there are implications for like the neck length. So if you put like a temperature sensor right around the neck, like the little cuff part, it's probably hotter if the head is retracted, and it's probably colder. So if there's like temperature change, or like a photoresistor, like literally just sensing darkness and lightness, it's probably darker. If the only thing about the photoresistor is it doesn't like take into account like ambient or environmental light, but
But with that too, we could still use some type of like synthetic material, like put it on her, and that can give different colors. And
Yeah.
it could pick up that, like if we did like red, green, and blue, or whatever
Well,
colors.
so have you ever heard of an optical encoder?
no.
Have you guys ever heard of an optical encoder? So
Okay, so let's get the design in there.
the way that, howdy. So the way that, do you have another piece of paper?
Right up there.
The way that certain high precision knobs work, so that you know exactly the position that it's turned to, is that they have a wheel, and the wheel has thin, evenly spaced segments of black and white painted on it. So you have black and white, black and white, black and white, all the way around this whole strip. Then you have one little photoresistor looking at just one segment of this, and as you rotate it, it goes, watch out for turtle. Turtle's, where's turtle?
Turtle is over there. Behind you,
Hamburger.
like, behind the
Ah,
door.
she's making a break for it. She will escape. Let's close that door anyway. So this photo detector, it will. Well, you can do this in the future if you need it. It will look at this, and basically it sees either black or white, and so it gets like a high-low. And you can just basically count the number of things that it does, and you know how many degrees has passed. So if you did have, so building on Katie's idea, she was saying it with like different colors. You could do it even more simply, where it's just a tiny thin black and white stripe that goes on the back of her neck. And as she moves out in front of this photo detector that's hanging off her shell, you just count the like 1, 2, 3, and it's like, oh, her head's only 3 out, or it's, oh, her head's 5 out, and
Okay.
she really loves it, that kind of thing. So that's possible too. Or it could just be a binary heads in, heads out if there's just a photo detector there. It'll be able to pick that up pretty well, especially if you just put a simple LED next to it. So that'll counteract for ambient lighting. So if the ambient lighting changes, but you have a really bright, maybe infrared LED so that we can't see it, it doesn't disturb the tortoise. Then the light will bounce back at a really high intensity when it heads out, and it will be a much lower intensity when it's in, and the highness of the intensity will counteract any kind of ambient changes in light, hopefully.
Okay, cool. And then you know that, like you said, that was an IR light. That
Sure. I mean, I was just saying, so you could use visible light, but it might scare her from ever putting her head out.
Yeah. So I just wanted to like make sure that she won't see the IR.
I don't know. That would be something you need to research. But let's say a light in a non-visible range for tortoise.
Okay. Well, but that would go back to kind of having this like camera thing, and then it would count the stripes, correct?
Well, so the camera thing, this would be a more advanced version where if you want more analog values in between heads out or heads in, you can add that stripe there and then count the black and white marks.
But that would work.
Okay.
As long as it's not, because the only thing is that we're scared that it's going to be like too much of a burden for her to light. And
A whole computer vision system might be a lot heavier than just a simple photo detector. But let's say, yeah, either way, you're measuring extension either in a binary form or a more analog form using something like this, or maybe even really high-end computer vision, high-end as compared to just in or out.
Ooh, that's a research and testing.
Exactly. So then, how do I get let know about this? What are your guys' ideas for that so far?
Larry, I think, really likes the heart-shaped LED.
We have 5 minutes left.
Even if it wasn't heart shaped, just an LED, you know, you have an LED on your back.
Okay, sounds good. LED on the back.
LED on your back. The further out your neck is, the happier you are, the brighter the light goes.
Cool. So now you guys, we're rolling up this screen. Everybody to the board. We have 5 minutes. You're going to draw a flow chart. Choose one of your ideas of how tortoise gets love, how tortoise doesn't get love. Make a quick flow chart. And then we're going to try to do a basic storyboard together, okay?
Okay.
Quick. We have 5 minutes.
Who wants to what?
I have a picture.
And watch out for tortoise. There's a step there.
Sorry, guys. Wait.
You okay?
Yeah, I tripped earlier today too. This is bad. You're okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're drawing.
Okay, so first, flow chart. Let me turn that off.
How's that?
Can you flow chart it up, Katie? Are you going to flow chart after?
So you just need to think about. So you're gonna make like.
Guys.
We'll start with like we can have like our two states, which is or just 2 states of like neck out and neck in.
Exactly.
So Mary is here. Here and there.
Oh, we're gonna do both, I think. We're Bluetooth and
I
Bluetooth.
hope you get better.
So it lets me know. How do you let me know that it loves me? No, but how do I know?
You know? Made a noise. Yeah. Let's make moves. Do you have?
When she pulls her head in, she has to expel air to close
Okay,
her
that's
lungs
what
so
that-
her head can fit. So she hisses.
You either have a light or thinking like multiple ways. Having a light and like something that beeps, which is supposed to.
Okay, so I go, oh, Vanya loves me because she's beeping now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I'm making her
Cool. Flow chart.
Oh, there it is.
And then like the only thing that we want to do is like, maybe you'll ever assume that, but then
Yeah.
this is kind of like a flow chart.
Pretty much. Noise.
Of course.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, this computer.
So 3 flowcharts based on 3 of our sketches.
So
I have a midterm tomorrow.
Thursday, it's all going to be about your project 3. You all need to decide whether you're going to do groups or not. So I don't know if anybody's planned on doing a group. I think you can do groups of like up to 2 people. So really just pairs. But these are all going to be for your own ideas for what your final project in the class is going to be. The flowcharts can be, they can be of the same idea, but just implemented in different ways. So they just have to be just different. Don't copy the exact same thing 3 times, because that doesn't make any sense. But it can be the same animal, it can be the same sensors, it can be 3 whole different crazy project ideas, really whatever you want.
Are you gonna email out this thingy, or should we take it?
I'll probably email it out too, but
3 you were talking about? I'm gonna say
project 3,
yes.
your final project for the class,
Yes.
you have to do it.
Well,
For Thursday, you're making sketches of your concept, loose sketches like you've done now,
Okay.
about inputs and outputs. 3 flow charts, like you're doing now, of like how do these connect, what are the decisions that get made. 2 separate storyboards of how that's going to work, and then you're going to bring an object like a lo-fi prototype into class that you're going to perform with to kind of act out your storyboards.
speaking of that, I have an idea.
Huh? It doesn't have to be the animal for Thursday, but your object can be the animal. You should probably have an object for your animal and an object for your digital thing. So let's say 2 objects if you're good. Okay?
So, I had an idea with this earlier in class. You were talking about slide whistles.
Uh-huh.
What if you use like a slide whistle and like a servo? Not like a servo, but like maybe like a step motor or something like that, and you just kind of use it to set the slide whistle and use it to recreate bird calls.
Sure.
That would work?
That would be an output
Yeah.
to birds.
Yeah.
And then what kind of input do you want from the bird?
Well, maybe I can have a perch, and they land on the perch. And when they land on the perch, it opens up like a little feeding box.
Sure. Okay, so you're trying to lure them in with the slide whistle.
And then feed them yummy things.
Yeah. So think about all kinds of different things like that. You could also take an input from other bird calls and try to replay them through the slide whistle. All kinds of
Hearing
different stuff.
it and being like, oh,
Yeah.
that bird, let's replay it back.
Exactly. So we didn't get to the storyboards right now, but I'll send you guys out a template of kind of like blank storyboards especially for any of you who've never done like a storyboard before. But it'll be in the email. Really quick, someone just tell me, walk me through your flow chart.
Okay, let's do this.
Larry, pop it.
All right.
Turtle.
We have a turtle. The turtle has a neck. There's a thing watching the turtleneck. The turtleneck is out.
Out.
It's real happy. And
Super happy.
The LED is on, and it glows and stuff, and it's all happy and stuff.
Turtle loves me. Oh, yay. Okay, cool.
But if the turtleneck is in, oh,
Later,
snap.
Eric. Bye, Danielle.
That turtle doesn't like you.
Okay, cool. Oh, Tortoise, why do you hate
The
me?
LED is off and stuff, and it's just sad.
Perfect. Okay, Alex, yours. Tell me.
Tortoise, distance
Distance from what?
from you.
Okay.
So what would happen is you're, wait, were we doing the light or is this the thing?
It's both.
Okay, so there's a beep on her. There's like a beep 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 thing on her.
Uh-huh.
And so when she gets real close to you, something will go off on your phone,
Okay.
signaling
So
to
my
you.
phone's sensing if she's nearby.
Yes.
Okay.
When she's far away, that signal will go off and it won't detect it, and you will not get the signal from it.
All right. So my phone lets me know like, oh, Vanya hates you right now.
Yeah, what it's gonna say if she loves you is you're gonna get a little voicemail that's like, hey, this is Vanya, I just want to let you know that I love you today.
Oh, well, that's nice. Okay, great. Thank you guys very much. Have a great next couple days.
I'll email you all my work.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah.
I'll bring in my slide.
And make a fun little video of you interacting with the thing.
Bad.
It's gonna be great. What'd you say, Larry?
I'm bringing my slide whistle. I'm
Cool.
probably gonna, for this project, I'm probably going to have an excuse to buy a better slide whistle.
That's a good excuse to have. Here's your feedback. Thank you very much.
This is the one I left in here like a few weeks ago. And I walked in, I was like, oh, that's where it went.
Oh crap! I need to get rid of the ants.
Yeah, those ants.
So many ants.
Are there any big ones left?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. The little ones are too small, so they're really just annoying.
Interesting. I'll see you later.
Later. Someone left their phone. Hello, other class. What's that?
The dog stay home today?
The dog stayed home today. The tortoise came today. Tortoise, yeah. The tortoise.
Does the tortoise live here permanently?
No, she lives in my She is 8 years old.
So she's young.
Yeah, yeah,
She can
yeah.
go for a lifetime.
Yeah, like 100 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes she likes to turn. I mean, after she sees my hand, then it freaks her out. Yeah.
So how are you combining interaction design with Tortoise?
All kinds of ways. So they had a challenge in class where they had to come up with designs for letting me know if my tortoise loved me or not. So they mapped there's two groups, they mapped the emotion of love in 2 different ways. One was if her neck was out, if her head was out, they said that basically that she loved me. So they had like a little IR sensor, photo sensor mounted above her head.
Oh yeah, that was
And
smart.
so if she loved me, then she
Got my
had this little
name on it.
heart-shaped LED on her back that would glow and blink at me. The other people did a little prototype for. She'd have a Bluetooth tracker mounted on her back, and I'd have my little phone. Whenever she came within a certain distance, so they mapped proximity. Whenever we were close, yeah. And if she ran away from me, then she would hate me.
And she's trying to scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Interaction design had like we just had to do like boards and how
Are you in an interaction design class right now?
we're back home like
You gotta add more animals. Always more animals.
There you go.